Calamity Infernum has nearly 50 bosses for you to defeat in order to progress through the game, but how many of those are actually required to make it to the final test? These types of runs are known as low percents, where the main goal is to beat the game with as few bosses as possible. You may have seen a few other videos on this topic which required defeating the Wall of Flesh as the very first boss. However, here in my run, we'll be utilizing a couple neat little Infernum features to skip right into the Lunatic Cultist, essentially meaning that we skip all of pre-hard mode and hard mode. So with that, my name is GhostHugger89, and this is how I beat Infernum in only 9 bosses without entering hard mode. My initial plan was to rush the Sulphur Sea to get an early golden fishing rod. Don't ask why when I don't have any bait. I didn't really think that through. But you know, since I have 0 movement and only the base 100 health, the world had other plans for me. So that was a bust. I guess I can chill for a little bit. I went up to the Sky Lab to fetch some herb bags which will be used to shimmer into some bait whenever I get around to that. And then I got some basic materials like a couple life crystals, some armor, a hook, and a lucky horseshoe which I made from some gold. I then found myself in the underground desert where I wanted to test my luck to get a magic conch. That way I could just teleport to the ocean rather than making the long and dangerous voyage. The only thing I managed to scrape up were some Dune Rider boots, but you know, that's a win, so I'm not really complaining. And then I went back to the sky to farm some harpies to get feathers, which is when combined with some desert materials, I'd craft a sandstorm in a bottle. Now that I had usable mobility, I made my way to the Sulphur Sea where I would set up a pylon and then just dip because I don't really have a weapon for the tech I'm about to do. So I blew up a single Crimson Heart for the arms dealer for a mini shark with some flash rounds, and then I'd go back to the toxic ocean to kill some crocodile looking things. You see, if you don't already have the angler in your world, the first trasher you kill will always drop him from its mouth. And a funny little mechanic that's getting removed in a future update is that when an angler is killed by one of these trashers, he will drop a golden fishing rod, which is the 3rd best fishing pole in the game, only being out by very late game rods. Get him! Get his ass! No! Hey, come here, come here, come here, come here, come here. Don't kill him, don't fucking... I swear to... You bastard. Oh, you fucking bastard. Get his ass, get his ass, get his ass, get his ass, get his ass. Get him. Get him. Thank you. Thank you. That took too fucking long. So now with my rod in hand, I made my trek to the opposite side of the world where I would dig for an eternity before finding the glittery goop to turn my herb bags into worms. Alright. Now I can fish. There's not really much I totally needed. Abyssal Amulet is a really good accessory which deals a really strong debuff. However, Cultist is immune to all debuffs, so this one's kind of irrelevant. Frog Leg is really good, and the Reaver Shark is also a must-have since Calamity actually reverts its 1.4 nerf, letting you mine Hellstone again. As far as the other drops go, they're kind of irrelevant. I mean, crates are still good, I guess. I don't have max health, so I'm not really opposed to gambling for life crystals. But for the single crate I got, I won that slot. But I won it even bigger when a Goblin army decided to show up right as I finished fishing. I then went looking for the Tinkerer, to which I got full health in the process, and then I mined some Hellstone, killed some Harpies, made some fledgling wings, made a flamer ring with molten armor, got an anklet, made some landing boots, and now I'm fully geared and finally ready to get the show on the road. Basically, to fight cultists, we need a summon item, which is dropped by Aetolist in the Abyss, which in base Calamity they're supposed to spawn somewhere during hard mode. But we are playing with the Infernum add-on, which reworks the Abyss to let these fishies spawn right at the start of the game. However, at this stage, we can't really breathe down there with the tools that are available to us, except there is an NPC who can give us a little smooch to breathe infinitely underwater so long as we don't get hit, which lets us reach that bottom layer with no problems. Except this guy is locked behind the Giant Clam mini boss, which in base Calamity requires you to have defeated the Desert Scourge boss in order to spawn. But since again this is Infernum, there is a summon item called the Sparkling Mollusk Can, which can be used to manually spawn the clam pre-worm. And to all the thinkers out there who think this guy is a boss for some reason, Infernum adds these little achievements called Death Wishes, one of which is called Infer It All, which is obtained through defeating every single one of the 47 bosses the mod has to offer. And you know who isn't included in this? Giant Clam, of course. This is because he's not a boss. Haha, checkmate, bitch. So don't even try pushing your weird ideologies because I'm still salty about that from my cultist video. So anyway, the clam is dead, and not only do I get the NPC I was blabbering about, but also Infer It All is still 0 out of 47. Wow, who would have thought? But moving on from that, we have Amidius the Sea King. By clicking help in his dialogue, he will give you his blessing, which lets you breathe infinitely as... Wait, I already explained that. So my plan now is to farm some Viper Fish to get the Depth Crusher, and after getting it, I can now fight my Aetolists. This fight is very, very simple. Just gotta shoot in their direction when they dash, and then just autopilot walk back and forth during the lasers. And after several minutes, because this is a mid-hard mode mini-boss, we finally take 1 out of the 5 down, which is all I really needed since they still dropped the tablet. So now after prepping the arena, I can finally start my brawl against the Lunatic Cultist. Now this fight is a lot more boring and sluggish than I remember. Genuinely, how I was able to stream for so long back then is a mystery, but as the fight went on, I got my muscle memory back and ended up getting the second phase in only a few attempts. However, that was nearly a 6-minute fight, and I didn't really feel like doing all that, so I had the idea to swap my loadout. What's a better weapon than the flamer ring that's obtainable for us? Nothing, this is the height of damage at this point. Or we can just cheese our way into the dungeon to nab a shadow key from the archive room and just open shadow chest for a flame lash. This might might be controversial to some, but honestly I'm not fighting a nearly 12-minute cultist again. That shit is mad fucking boring. But since we have a mage weapon, I can switch over to a mage build with a mystic robe, a wizard hat, and platinum greaves for movement speed. I also used a mana flower since his flame lash is pretty expensive on the mana side. This build worked so fucking well that I killed him. But he still killed me because I kind of stopped paying attention.
Again.
Ah! I died at the SP because I looked away. You can laugh, by the way. If you want to hear an excuse, the Discord convo got really weird and I didn't want to have that in the video. But you can still laugh and call me ass. I don't really care. You want to be wrong. Why didn't I just do this the other day? It's literally all fucking Ty's fault. I died to that. So I kind of just realized I never shilled the subscribe button. So if you're enjoying the video so far, click that. Thank you. Anyway, the pillars are really fucking annoying. It's almost like my weapon is made out of peanut brittle and my armor is also made of peanut brittle. Now thankfully Calamity makes it so the enemies will drop fragments, so I was able to get myself a solar eruption, which helped me clean up the pillars a lot easier. However, my dumbass forgot the Moonlord spawns instantly upon defeating the last pillar. Oh fucking well. Unfortunately, I can't use the Celestial Sigil because it requires Golem to have been beaten in order to use, so I have to fight cultists and do the pillars all over again every time I fail. Which is really annoying because Moonlord with really shitty mobility is so fucking bad and really hard. And after doing that a couple times, I folded. I started using the Fargo's mutant spawns because they don't have those requirements. However, as a trade-off, they aren't infinite, so I'll still have to do pillars just less frequently. Except after doing that several times, I crashed out and stole fragments from other worlds because I'm not doing pillars another 82 more times, bro. Please, dude, I can't. Alright, so this is like super duper fucking far into the future. I kind of forgot about this run. I really need to upload something, and this is gonna be really quick. I think. There we go. We're fucking Blitzwinger now. This fucking build sucks ass. What? It's fine. You know what? I'm a fucking goated ass no-hitter. So I should win, right? Totally. That's so fucked. That's fucked. It's cooked. God damn it. Oh. I'm cooked, I'm cooked, I'm cooked, I'm cooked, I'm cooked. Oh, fuck you, fuck you. Holy shit. This fight is so hard. Moonlord is such a hard fucking fight. I can finally finish this video. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Holy shit. All I need to do is speed kill with this shit. That's so funny. That's so funny. That's so funny. Here's my gear. If you're interested. There we go. 2 bosses. Here's the checklist, by the way. Absolutely 0 bosses killed. Nothing killed at all. Lunatic Cultist and Moonlord. That's it. That's it. That's it. Check Death Wish. Infer it all. Rip and tear until it is done. Beat every Infernum boss 2 out of 47. Now, I kind of never really explained why I did all of that in the first place. To really understand, we're actually gonna have to start at the end and work our way backwards. The 2 final bosses of the mod, the Exomex and Supreme Calamitas, require auric bars in order to craft their summon furniture. To get auric in the world, we'll need to defeat Yeron, but to actually get it, normally you're supposed to mine it with a Blossom Pickaxe, which will require both Providence and her Guardians to have been beaten, which is a whole 2 bosses on the tally. In a traditional low percent run, you wouldn't actually need to fight those 2 since you can just fish up the auric ore from the titanium crates which are found in hard mode after Wall of Flesh. But since we're never going to enter hard mode, these crates just don't exist and we're forced to defeat both profane bosses. So to prep, I would use the Luminite from Moonlord to craft a pickaxe to mine the new planetoids that have spawned for even more Luminite. Outside of gear we can get with this stuff, it's also very powerful with Shimmer. When you throw a Luminite in, you can cycle through almost all of the previous ore tiers, including those for the hard mode Anvil and Forge, which is the actual reason this whole run is possible. But we'll get into that later. However, this still doesn't really get us much for our gear outside of a Cobalt Shield for knockback immunity and a Harpy Ring for movement speed and extra flight, I guess. But it's not like I'd really need much since I'm not really afraid of our next opponents. Alright, cool, finally. I just needed to movement max. Look at this shit, quick. Starboard, lightning boots, harpy ring, stress pills, vital jelly. I just need it's just 2 more percent and then she fucking dies at 4 for some reason. Yep, alright. I'm so washed, I can't do crosses at all. Crosses without static hook. I can only play it with static hook because I'm a little bitch now. But I don't have that because I'm not in hard mode. And I don't have Steampunker? Alright. Oh, Legion Aegis. Okay. And some actual wings. I forgot Elysian wings exist, so I'm not stuck with fucking Celestial Starboard. With Providence down, Yuli Bloom ore now spawns in our world, which gets us the aforementioned Blossom Pickaxe. The only other thing this ore gets us is Tarragon Armor. Besides that, everything else is locked behind shit we can't ever get. Now our next boss is gonna sound a bit strange, but we're actually gonna backtrack to an earlier boss Ravager. This is because he drops 2 resources that are very important to us. Life Alloy to summon both Yaron and Exomex, and in our post-Providence state, he's not only buffed in stats from his hard mode counterpart, but his drops also improve to include Cores of Calamity, which is our only source of ashes needed to spawn Calamitas without having to defeat or clone for them. In order to spawn the Ravager, we'll need to head to the Jungle Temple that we can just break into since we have a powerful enough pickaxe, and then just loot the place for fragments, and then use the hard mode anvil that we got from Shimmering Luminite to craft his summon. Yes, Pecora, keep laughing at me. Because I died to Ravager. Die, bastard. There we go. Hooray! Oh my god, increase rage. Geode, and there we go. We have got Life Alloy, we got Cores. Even though I went on that whole tangent about his drops, they're actually completely irrelevant for our next boss, which is the Devourer of Gods, as we need the Cosmic Anvil to actually craft the final summoning items. To spawn him, we need Necroplasm, which is very fucking annoying to get in our case. Now, in traditional low percents, you can just farm the overloaded soldier enemies in the underground layer. However, those guys are locked behind hard mode, which means our only way of obtaining this stuff is from Phantom Spirit enemies, which have a chance to spawn upon killing any enemy over 1,000 health in a dungeon. So all we have to do is build an artificial dungeon in the other world with cursed walls and farm profane enemies for these phantoms to spawn. Now here's the fun part about this. Since we haven't defeated Skeletron, dungeon guardians will still spawn, and as you would imagine, it's really fucking annoying when 50 of them spawn in every single one of your orifices. And after a while of doing this and not getting jack, I started thinking that maybe this isn't how it works and maybe I'm fucked. Until I actually got one to spawn and realized it's just rare and I have dogshit luck. Maybe Kitasan Black was trying to tell me something, but I'm not sure. So I've proved it's possible to get Necroplasm. I could probably just spawn the rest in, but unfortunately I'm the real channel, so I sat there for like an hour doing this shit until I had enough for the Cosmic Worm. Wait, I got it! Kill me. Yes! 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 Now to prep for Space Worm, I refought Providence to get the Holy Collider, and then I refought the Guardians for the War Banner. And then I switched off of the full Tarragon set to use Solar in my top 2 slots, as it gives me much more damage than either of the 2 full sets. Alright. GG's. Why'd that take so long, bro? No, I can't say that. The Cosmolite from the Devourer doesn't really get us much except for the aforementioned Anvil. Everything else is obviously locked behind weapons and accessories we're never going to get, and Ascended Spirit Essence. Now we've already proven that we can get Necroplasm, Endothermic Energy and Nightmare Fuel are still obtainable since we can get the Ectoplasm for their summons by Shimmering Cores from the Ravager. However, Dark Sun Fragments are completely inaccessible to us since you aren't able to use a Solar Tablet until Hard Mode. No Solar Eclipse means no Fragments, which means no Spirit Essence, which means no Godslayer or Silva Armor, which means we are stuck on our weird semi-mixed Tarragon set for the entire rest of the game, which honestly isn't too bad. The damage is actually very good, and it's going to get even better when we speed kill Night Providence with our Cosmic Discharge to get the Purity accessory, which multiplies our damage by 1.4 times and gives us 40% attack speed at the cost of not being able to crit. I then fought Ravager a couple more times for some more life alloy, and then I went to the jungle to farm Draconic Swarmers for feathers to make the Blessed Phoenix Egg to spawn Yaron. Remember, first phase is impossible, alright? Everyone knows first phase is impossible, second phase is like free. Ah. Fucking hopped in his asshole. See, I told you fucking phase 1 is impossible, and then fucking phase 2 is free as shit. Cosmic Discharge is so funny. It's such a good weapon. Yaron dropped some very important goodies for us. His wings are the best in the game, so that's a no-brainer. I would also get my 2 final weapons, the Burning Sky, which is for some reason a melee weapon, and the Dragon Rage. So to spawn XMX, we need to construct the Codebreaker, which requires a lot of materials that we already have or have access to, except for wires. We need a total of 150 wires, but we can't just buy them from the mechanic since we haven't beaten Skeletron, but we're still able to get them. We just need to mine the stone underneath a lot of boulder traps to get the active stone blocks, which we can shimmer into the wires we need. Now that I had all the wires, I could decrypt all the schematics from the labs, and while those were in the oven, I'd head to the crags and add the Lilies of Finality, which are probably the best summon in the game, which would be a very nice support to have. So the reason I'm even fighting these guys in the first place, despite Calamitas being right there, is because the Infernum relics actually tell you to fight the other, so even though both of them will roll the final credits, you still technically need to fight both of them to beat the game. Now, even though my damage was really good, I still felt like I could get a little bit more, so I went back to the dungeon and cheesed my way to a bewitching table and killed Dog for a Mechworm staff. Can I say it made much of a difference? Not really. But I mean, little change is still better than no change, I guess. I don't know. I can't believe I lost that fucking phase 3, bro. I can't believe it. Fuck you! You're supposed to die. Ha! Can you, like, fucking die already? Jesus Christ. Jesus fucking Christ. How long does it take? There we go. I don't like doing that ever, but, like, I also don't want to fight Exomex anymore, because I'm so fucking annoyed. Fuck you, Draydon. Our final boss, Supreme Calamitas, was now right at our doorstep. I only had 3 Ashes of Calamity, and like I mentioned earlier, the only way to get them is from cores of Drop by Ravager. These things are kind of rare, and I don't really want to farm, so I gotta make these 3 attempts count, or else... What the fuck? At least I'm juiced enough to kill him in like 10 seconds, but it's still boring. Fuck yeah! Fuck yeah! Last try too. Last Ash. Fuck yeah! Hooray! 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 All I had to do was switch Cobalt Helmet. That's all I had to do. Oh my god. Holy fucking shit. That felt really good. Well, I can finally stop doing this. And that, ladies and backseaters, is how you can beat Infernum in only 9 bosses without entering hard mode. I want to give a huge shout out to Guardian Game 627 as his non-Infernum wall skip videos actually inspired and helped me pull through on this run. Unfortunately, this weird little route is neither faster nor slower than a regular low percent, as the boss count is still the same at 9, only instead of guards and Providence, you'd have wall and Calclone. However, in my biased opinion, the idea of skipping right to post Moonlord is really cool to me, which is why I even went through with it. If you made it here to the end and you enjoyed, make sure to like and subscribe, as I kinda want to hit 100k at some point, so your support would be really cool. And by the way, I stream a lot of my runs here on YouTube, and currently I'm in the middle of playing Legendary Infernum with 1 HP, so make sure to stop by if you're interested. And with that, I'm Ghostfucker89, signing off.